The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Kiwi.
And joining us now for the advertising feature here on Kiwi, it's Simon Pound. Today we're going to be digging through the Super Bowl ads and the phenomenon that I suppose that is Super Bowl and advertising. G'day there, Simon.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Very, very well. Now, I reckon it's pretty hard for us to understand this whole idea of people tuning in to a sports game to watch ads.
Well, if you've ever watched a game of American football, if you don't like the ads, you're in real trouble because there's an ad break every about 30 seconds. The game's got 4 quarters, and each quarter has 15 ads. So,
15
odd ads. So,
wow.
In the course of the game, there are about 62 ads and a bunch of station promos as well.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of it. Imagine there being 62 ads in your rugby game.
Yeah. I think there'd be some protests going on somewhere.
Well, it'll probably happen soon. So, but yeah, if you don't like ads, you're in all kinds of trouble. So the actual big companies in the States always use the Super Bowl to launch their great big new ads, and so there's great excitement amongst advertising people, but also amongst punters because it's the day that they really unveil the big hitters and the real big ads that will be talked about for time to come. Because the Super Bowl is, of course, like mainly a male game,
yeah.
The ads do seem to have a bit of a male skew. But quite interestingly, like this year's Super Bowl it gained the biggest audience that they've ever had for a Super Bowl or for anything in America, a huge television audience.
Yeah.
And it's not just guys. So although there are a lot of men, it's also the thing that the most women watch all at once out of anything at all done all year too. So the ads have a male skew, but you kind of wonder, should they have such a male skew? Because there are a lot of women watching. And I'd say if there were 2 big themes to come out of the ads this year, one was just total buffhead, macho, stupid, 70s gender stereotype, insecure, look at me, I'm a man ads.
Yeah.
And the other theme would be consumer-generated content.
Right. Okay. Well, let's look because as you say, there was a male skew going on. Let's first look at this Dove men's commercial.
Get born, get slapped, and cry out loud, learn to walk and talk, make your parents proud, be good at sports, play hard, run fast, careful climbing the rope in gym class, lift weights, be strong, know how to fight, be safe and stay up all night, be tough, be cool, be full of pride, don't show your sensitive side, go out with your friends, but be a gentleman too, then find the perfect girl who'll say, I do, go check out a noise and never be scared, don't waste your life.
So this ad is accompanied with various scenes that roll along with the vocals of the song. What did you find interesting about this one?
I quite like the Dove one. Out of all of them, the Dove one's probably the least offensive. Other ones, just to set the scene, there's a Dockers ad that has a whole lot of guys walking around. There are a whole lot of guys without their pants in these ads. Dockers ad with all these guys walking around without pants on, and at the end of it, it's like, with Dockers, you wear the pants. So,
right.
dealing in guys' insecurities. There's one for Dodge, a car, and it has a series of, they're beautifully shot, some of these, a series of guys, just the camera looking at them while a voiceover track goes about all the things they do, and it says, I take out the rubbish, I sort the recycling, I am nice about your friends, I this, that, and the other, and then at the end it says, and because I do all these things, I get to drive the car I want.
Yeah.
So it pretty much goes through all the things that it reckons that guys put up with from women. Then there's one for Bud. There were a series for Bud Light. One that's good that it'd be cool for us to play later, but a couple that were just, really pretty ridiculous. And there's a book group, and then the guy sees the beers there, and so he sits down and says, "Oh, I'd like to hear you say some words, pretty lady." Just quite simple, silly stuff. But this Dove one is interesting because it's trying to say that you're so confident as a man because you have had kids and done all this stuff and you do all the good stuff that you're able to wear moisturiser, which is quite interesting. Like, if that can work, it will be a huge market that they get into.
Maybe that's almost a step change.
Don't talk to me about step changes.
And let's look at this. Let's look at one of these Bud Light ones now.
Hey, what'd you get?
A few things, some Bud Lights.
Here we go. Baby!
What are you doing?
I'm gonna work this party!
What party?
Hey, Brad. Hey, Mike. Hey, Dwight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got the Bud Light.
We're gonna make the party right.
Make the party right.
It's the sure sign of a good time.
Oh man, I'm not an auto-tune fan, Simon.
Yeah, but the ad did make me smile. It was there's something about they've chosen very carefully in this Bud ad that the dudes are not your average. We might say the Old Spice ad afterwards to contrast with it. They chose guys in this ad that are they're very average looking, quite nerdy, quite dweeby, and they just seem to be having so much fun when they start talking in this auto tune. And yeah, it's quite cool. It's obviously quite a riff on the Budweiser Was Up ad that was an enormous success a couple of years ago.
Which has been parodied. It's been parodied a million times as well.
A million times. So this ad is probably one of the ads. This and the Old Spice ad would probably be the ones that had the greatest sense of fun. A lot of the others, they didn't seem that fun. They just seemed... The first thing that jumps out looking at a whole lot of them, if we put the two links up later on, one's the New York Times live blog where a lot of these are mentioned, and then the link that you sent to a collection of lots of the ads at the same time, the thing that strikes you first is how stupid most of them are.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But that one had a sense of humour and was quite fun.
Okay, let's hold off on the Old Spice one just at the moment because that is my favourite one that I've seen so far.
Gotcha.
What about the fact that Google decided to advertise? I'll just play a little bit of this. It's the audio is just music. Now, just to tell you what's going on in this particular ad, someone is using the Google search engine to impress a French girl, aren't they, Simon?
Yeah, it's telling a really lovely, simple story. Like, a lot of these ads are really massively produced, and a lot's been spent on them, and everything's very kind of high spec. But this ad is incredibly simple. It's just looking at a computer screen as a series of search queries are put into it, and these search queries, when put together, tell a story of a guy going to Paris and going to a cafe and learning some French phrases and meeting a girl and finding some nice things to say to her and going on some dates, and then it ends with him kind of entering and building a crib. So it's just a really lovely, simple story, and it's probably been the most well-received ad out of all of them for a couple of reasons. One, that is simple and effective, and the second one is that Google traditionally don't advertise. So this is their first big television spot, and I think it's done really well. You know, like trying to give an emotional attachment to something that is really central to our lives, but that we don't have perhaps an emotional relationship with. So it's trying to put it at the centre of kind of happiness and journeys.
And as you say, an extraordinary step that they've taken the bold move of actually advertising as well on TV.
Yeah. They're one of the world's biggest advertising companies, so it's quite interesting to see them doing that.
Yeah. This is another one that you thought was quite great, this Aldi Green Car Super Bowl. I'll play a little bit of this.
Okay, so it's 3708, paper plastic.
Plastic. That's the magic word. What? Green police. You picked the wrong day to mess with the ecosystem, plastic boy.
Battery! Let's go, take the house, come on! Put the rind down! Sir, that's a compost inversion!
Oh! Did you install these bulbs?
Well, tragedy strikes tonight where a man has just been arrested for possession of an incandescent light bulb.
Fantastic, Simon. This is great.
My favourite bit of that ad's probably where he says, "Did you install the lights?" And the guy's like, "Yo." And then they just grab him and chuck him in the cop car. It's so, I mean, that ad seems to have come from a different country than most of the ads that played during the Super Bowl. It's got really wry kind of social commentary. It's really well produced. The acting and the performances are perfect. It's a really, really clever ad. It's for Audi's diesel, and they're saying that the payoff to the ad is that there's a roadblock and no one can get through except the guy in the Audi diesel because he's okay. So it's making a stand about the way the world's going, where there's so much control over all of these consumer choices. Yeah, and just kind of giving it a little bit of a subversive kind of flick, and it's very funny.
It says it all. It says it all right at the end where it says green has never felt so right. Hey Simon, we've only got 30 seconds to go, so I'd like to play this the Old Spice ad. I'll play it right now. Here we go.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
I'm on a horse, says it all right at the end.
I'm on a horse, isn't it wonderful? And that's appealing to the fact that although like all these ads are men, it's still women who are in the supermarket who actually pick things up and put them in the trolley, and they're the ones that make all the so many consumer decisions in the household. So it's quite cool. It's making it non-threatening, and a dude can maybe pick up the Old Spice and say, I'm on a horse, and be happy wearing it.
And
it makes me happy just saying I'm on a horse.